Hey there folks, welcome back to the channel, and thanks for the train. If you're checking this out, this is the end of the line. This is the last episode of 2021. If you made it to this one, if my evil master plan comes all together, this one will probably play a few hours before the last live stream of the year. So as I'm recording this right now, I've still got the 2 live streams, so I'm recording this prior to the Christmas Eve episode live stream, and then prior to the New Year's Eve episode live stream. So it's been quite a year. There's been quite a bit in here, so I kind of went back and forth on how I wanted to capture and encapsulate this. If I tried to capture everything, it would be like a 6-hour video, and at that point it may as well be a live stream. So I'm not going to do that to you. But what I did is I grabbed a couple of clips of a few favorite things that I'm going to mention, predominantly live stream heavy. That's going to be the majority of it. But I wanted to talk through a couple of things with you, and then we'll get to, kind of basically what the plans are for the channel in 2022. So let's begin with this simple thing. I'm not going to read off a whole bunch of things, although I did make a little bit of a list. So if I'm looking off to the side, that's my wonderful list. Just going back through the videos throughout the course of the year, it was a good way for me to kind of think back and, yeah, all this stuff happened in 2021. And as eventful as 2020 was, 2021 was no slouch in this regard. So I made a little bit of a chronological list, kind of remind me of some stuff that was all covered and discussed on the channel throughout the course of the year. Obviously, starting in January, we had the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle PSA 9, sold for a then record $5.2 million. And that was one of the themes of 2021, was record sales. Even in the midst of, obviously, a rise at the beginning of the year, and then, obviously, the decline that we spent the last little while talking about, what's going to happen in 2022. So we'll see. But at the beginning of the year, we had that record pricing sale. In February, Vegas Dave did his viral video, burning a 1986 Fleer card. And I do know that there's a little Vegas Dave movie. I haven't had the chance to watch it now that we're in December. So, kind of bookmarking it with some Vegas Dave content. Golden Auctions received $40 million in funding. And of course, this wouldn't be the last time we talk about Golden Auctions in 2021, but that's still in February. So obviously, still very eventful at the beginning of the year. In March, PSA had a PSA rate increase that took effect on March the 1st. So that was in the March the 1st video. And then PSA suspended service levels on March the 30th. So March was another very eventful month. Like I said, there's a lot going on. By the time you get to April, Topps released his first NFT product. Not a big deal, but still something noteworthy, possibly in future years. In June, BGS suspended its services on June the 1st, so the first of a continuation of various things as the grading card companies, the bigger ones, started to have some issues. I did a video on the collecting investing model that some folks may be interested in going back to if you are newer to the channel. That was around on June the 20th, so I put approximate dates on a lot of this. Now, I think this will be the first clip that I want to play for you. Also, in the month of June, we introduced the world to the man known only as Dapsman. I don't know what the guy's name actually is, so I'm going to call him Dapsman. I'm sure he has a name, but I don't care what it is. And there he is, Dapsman. Who could not love Dapsman? Like, look at him. He looks so happy. He looks so positive. And he's going to tell us about sports cards, because he is a veteran of 11 months worth of videos. So there's that. Now, in addition to that, not only that, like, look, the branding is on point, you guys. Like, he's got the backwards hat, and he's got the glasses and the logo with the backwards hat. And did I mention the backwards hat? There's something I need to address here. Is he wearing a snapback? He's wearing a snapback. And he's not even wearing it straight. Now, admittedly, I might not have worn this straight, so that's more the fact that I'm not wearing my glasses right now, and I'm just... Look, I didn't want to wear my glasses and then try to wear this backward. Like, it's too much. Not going to hold it against him too far. We'll calm down. We'll calm down. It's okay. Let's move on.
Also...
Whoa, hold on. Sorry. I meant to continue playing for a little bit longer. But is that a bunch of logos in the background for the friggin' logo that he's got on the channel? I appreciate a little bit of branding, but this seems a bit excessive. How much of an arrogant, self-centered narcissist do you need to be to have your own channel logo just prominently displayed in the middle of a video outside of the regular YouTube thing? Who does that? Let's hear a little bit more about what he has to say.
Also, Free Box Friday is tomorrow. What box are we giving away? You know the deal. You know the thing. You know the deal. I'll tell you later.
Well, that was Nightmare Fuel. Yep, good old Dapsman. A superhero or villain or something was born that day. And that was basically indicative. So that clip was indicative of the kind of, serious, both investigative and informative type of content that you could expect on the channel throughout the course of the year. And this continued, forward into the rest of the year, and continued with other equally serious and important things. But before we get to all that, let me continue with a couple more things that happened during the year. So we had our Dapsman thing, and then we move into July. July, some more things went on. Collectors Universe acquired Golden Auctions. Like I said, Golden's back in the news. Golden was in the news throughout the year. He was one of the big players for sure. But Collectors Universe acquiring them is also something that would come up again as we go forward in the year. A lot of acquisitions, so there's a lot of that. July the 7th was the first BIC audio podcast episode, which is something that, by the way, spoiler, I'll be continuing forward into the rest of the year. I may even have one more episode, probably by the time this has come. A lot of it will depend on whether I have the time to be able to finish it off, but I have a couple of ideas on things I'd like to do, but I do want to continue that in the new year. The cadence will still be irregular, unless I have some specific reason to do so on a more regular basis, but it's good for long-form content where I don't feel like a whole video is required. So I will be continuing that into the new year, so you can rest assured about that. And I do have it available in audio form strictly if you want to check it out on on a podcast platform. Anchor is basically the way that I kind of get it out there, so it is on Spotify, and I'm pretty sure you can get it on Apple Podcasts and stuff like that, so it should be available. Continuing forward, on July the 19th, I had the controversial, but still, provoking, thought-provoking baseball collector on the channel as part of a discussion to discuss Hobbypalooza, which was coming up at that time, and also they did a sports card market collapse video where they gave their opinion on it, and we talked back and forth through it. So it was a good discussion, and I appreciate Mike coming on the channel and talking with me. So that was a kind of a big video during the course of the year. It was a pre-record that we did just so that we could focus on the topics at hand and discuss it, but it was a good video nonetheless, and it was something I was happy to do and have on the channel. Moving into August, so now we're moving into the, towards the end of the summer months. eBay removes PWCC from its platform. So PWCC was another player that got a little bit of play throughout the course of the year. A lot of these folks kind of reoccur. But August 19th was the big one. Because Fanatics got the MLB and MLBPA licenses. Now they would also go on, as we expanded the story, to go and get the the NFL licenses, as well as I think they might have one NFL license. But anyway, they got an NFL license as well as the basketball licenses. So that was a big deal. And obviously going forward, our good buddy Josh Luber would come into play a lot more as far as this is concerned. So a lot more happenings. So Fanatics they're in acquisition mode, and Collectors was in acquisition mode. They were still Collectors Universe, but they became Collectors as the year went on. So a lot going on. And that leads us going into, towards the tail end here. So we get into November, and Josh Luber releases an essay, which I covered on the channel, a 50-plus page essay discussing kind of his lessons in the hobby and some interesting things that may come into play as he, gets more and more in line with what Fanatics is going to do. And we'll have more to talk about that surely in 2022, and that'll be very interesting. Even more recently, there's been some more related to Josh Luber. November 15th was my 2021 Fall Expo recap. And I'll talk a little bit more about the Fall Expo thing in the second segment that I'm going to do, but as part of this video. But we had that going November 15th, and I got to do a little review recap of the Fall Expo, which was a lot of fun. And that was the first in-person card show that I got a chance to attend since 2019. So it's been quiet. So it's been over 2 years since the last time, and that was a lot of fun, and we got to hang out and talk to a lot of folks that had seen the channel, so appreciate that. And that leads us to December. So the month of December, we had the problem of demand, which is probably one of my favorite videos that I made, because I outlined a lot of the challenges in trying to get demand, so I just want to highlight that video because I thought it was a good one. And then Josh Luber's interview on Sports Card Investors YouTube channel, and I did a little breakdown of that. So that was kind of a recurring theme throughout the course of the year. There was a lot of, hobby happenings and talking about news and breaking down certain things. And that's the thing that I really would like to continue going forward. Again, a little bit of spoiler to the plans for the future. Expect more things as hobby happenings come. I really do want to continue the idea of going below the surface line. I want to take advantage of the opportunity that I have to be able to analyze it a little bit and then offer some of that to you. Obviously, open for discussion, and we can talk about anything you want to as far as that's concerned. But as far as the regular videos are concerned, I want to keep that going into the next year, and that's going to be part of my plan going forward. So for the second section here, I want to talk a little bit about collaborations. So I already mentioned a little bit earlier about that Fall Expo thing, so I'll mention that one off the top. So I actually had Uncle Vinny, of the Instant Revolution podcast, which will come up in a second, Fame, join me on a live stream where I did a bit of an impromptu live stream at the Fall Expo. I was kind of annoyed that I didn't get to do my regular live stream, and I decided, what the heck, since I was able to get the hotel Wi-Fi to cooperate, we decided to have an impromptu one. And we had a couple of impromptu ones there, and I'm going to kind of thank a couple of folks that came on the channel here in this section. It's not going to be an exhaustive list. I'm not going to be able to have everybody. I didn't jot everybody down. I did watch a lot of the stuff back to try to remember and pull clips and stuff like that. But it would be a fool's errand for me to try to capture everybody. But let me try to grab a few names so that at least I acknowledge them. So first of all, I do want to thank Vinny, just like I said a moment ago, for joining me on that impromptu. Late evening where he was as well, but we had a fun little discussion there, and it was nice to be able to have a live stream that week. And of course, thank you to Bobby Burrell for joining me regularly on the live stream, the unofficial co-host of the podcast slash show, whatever you want to call it. And I'll talk more about the live stream in a minute. And then of course, the Insert Revolution podcast. So Dave and Steve were both on my show as well as my going on theirs. And I'll talk a little bit more about the collaborations. So I also was on the Sports Card Anonymous live stream. So that was kind of fun. But, when it comes to collaborations, like I said, I'll talk more about some folks when I get the live stream piece at the end. But as far as collaborations are concerned, that was something that I really wanted to do coming into 2021. I wanted to be able to reach out and potentially reach other folks that hadn't had the chance to see my channel before, and potentially be able to kind of speak to their audience and be able to talk through it. And some people may enjoy it and some people may not. And, it's an acquired taste. It's not for everybody. But, in that spirit, going into somebody else's house, I felt like it was really important to make sure that we brought the analysis, the seriousness, and the gravitas that this channel's hallmark is based on.
Let me ask you a question, Dave, because you are a wrestling guy, so this is a good question for you. Do you prefer Shop at Home Don West or TNA Don West?
I have met TNA Don West. They had a house show up in Bemidji, which is 2.5 hours away, and he was there. It was Jeff Jarrett, and I don't even remember who else was signing in the lobby way, but he was there, and I was going nuts because I'm like, that's what I remember. I was excited. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I watched you at Shop at Home. I didn't buy those blueprint or blue chip specials. I should have cashed out Roman chips in that, and he just you could tell the nervous. Thanks.
I think your story broke Steve. I don't know what happened over there.
Well,
no, I'm not laughing at Dave. Oh God! I'm just gonna say perfect timing, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Hopefully, somebody else picks it up.
Steve, I think, is broken.
Yep, perhaps. Y'all probably have to watch the replay. You'll get it.
That made my night. Thank you.
No worries. I'll do what I can.
Maybe that's not the best example, but it was a little bit of a fun throwback to the first appearance of the infamous channel mug. Now, obviously, you saw it in the Dapsman video as well, but that came after the clip you saw. Now, like I said, very serious. Gravitas. Look, the second clip here will probably convey it better. This is far more serious. We need to give it a serious treatment. We were on a big channel. Lots of subscribers, lots of viewers, and people checking it out. So I came with my A game and remembered to keep it focused, serious, stern, and to the point.
I am far more offended by your attempted skits at the beginning of the video. Ha-ho! Ha-ha! Hee-hee!
That's so...
I'm way more offended by that. And secondly, I'm still offended by the cartoon because it's full of lies. You are peddling lies. You do not work out that much. We know this. The 52 tops, 68 tops Mantle thing has not been solved. It's all lies. This entire channel is built on a complete bedrock of lies.
Okay, that's a bad example too. So, probably can't help myself. So, never mind. Forget about the seriousness. We're going to give up all pretenses of any hope of seriousness related to anything. So, yeah. Oh, we tried. Maybe next year. Other than that, though, like I said, Sports Card Anonymous, I was on that channel, and possibly by the time this plays, I'm not going to call it out in the video, but because if it gets delayed or whatever, it'll be in the early next year. But I did record a collaboration yesterday as well that will appear, and when the time comes, I will mention it on the channel. And then at the very conclusion of it, I'll give you kind of a little, by the numbers kind of situation as far as the channel is concerned. It won't be perfect because obviously I'm recording it before the official end of the year. There may be a couple of videos that sneak in there. But it's been a prolific year of content. It's been a lot of fun collaborating with these folks. A lot of fun, having some laughs in a variety of different ways. And that part of it was definitely fun and rewarding. Now, speaking of collaborations and people, that leaves us to the flagship. I love making the videos. They're probably my favorite part overall. But the flagship of the channel really is the weekly live stream. So earlier in the year, it wasn't just the one day because there was so much going on. For a little while there, I was doing Friday live streams as well as Sunday live streams. And I had originally started a lot on the Sunday live streams because it was kind of a good night. But it was kind of tough. It was tough Monday mornings. Let's put it that way. So eventually I just kind of settled in on the Friday live stream thing because it allowed us to go however long we needed to. And, we keep the live streams short and concise, as is our way. But nonetheless, it gave a good venue because I very much had an open door policy for a good chunk of the year. And like I said, I'm not going to try to name everybody that came on there. A lot of folks appeared maybe once or twice, or maybe they came a variety of different times. I already mentioned Bobby, and I already mentioned Dave and Steve, who have both been on the live stream before. I also had personal finance dad Dustin, who I mentioned, who I showed a little clip of a little bit earlier. He's been on there. Andy from Sports Card Investigator has been on there. Jordan from Sports Card Analytics has been on, as well as Victor, the rookie card specialist. And not one, but two Brads. We had Miami Dolphins football fan Brad, who gave us a little bit of information on the National. Appreciation to that, Brad. And of course, Brad Hartland of PSA Canada, as well as AMG Collectibles, friend of the channel. Overall, great guy. Lots of great stories, and we have a lot of fun and laughs. But that's like, it barely scratches the surface, because we had a variety of different folks. And of course, we got Yannick and Eric and a whole bunch of other folks that came in. And I didn't forget, like I said, I'm not going to count everybody, but I do have a little special, little set of clips at the end of this section for you, for those of you who have been checking out the live stream for a while. But overall, I just want to thank everybody, whoever popped in on the live stream for any length of time. And of course, the regular list of contributors, who would be remiss if I didn't include one other person who also joined me on a kind of an impromptu live stream. And, their infamy, goes without saying. But we also have to take a moment to acknowledge the infamous, let's say, disputed sports card Hall of Famer, Bob. Lewis. Absolutely. Bob joined me on a variety of occasions as part of the live stream, which we'll talk about towards the tail end. But in addition to that, he was also part of an impromptu live stream where we basically hung out and chatted while I opened up a blaster of metal, of the Upper Deck metal product, which was a lot of fun. And it's one of those things. Bob's a great guy, and he's a good conversation to just hang out and chat with. And it was one of the enjoyable things, definitely, over the course of the year, amongst all the other folks that came in and chatted and joined in. So that'll be kind of a recurring theme when we talk about the live stream thing at the very end here. But for everybody else who I may not have named, I do want to say that I do appreciate you coming on. Those of you who decided to come in, those of you who kind of just lurk in the background, those of you who hang out in the chat, all the regulars. I'm not even going to try to name those because that's even longer list. But thank you to all of you who have shown support and enjoyed the channel, who have hit the like button, who have subscribed to the channel over the course of the year. Things have been going very well on the channel, and we couldn't have done that without you. So we do appreciate that from that perspective. Now, I've talked about the collaborations. I've talked about all the various elements of it. I've even talked about the live stream a little bit, the flagship of the channel. But I would be remiss if I didn't give a special acknowledgement this year to a channel favorite of yours and mine, our good buddy Justin. Those of you who are familiar know that Justin was a regular feature player in the early part of the live stream, and he's made a little resurgence towards the tail end of the year. He's been around, but it was one of those things where we would be remiss if we didn't at least acknowledge Justin, because our good buddy Justin always had a propensity of having a spectacular entrance and sometimes an even more spectacular exit. And honestly, that was probably the more fun part for me. Again, I would like to pretend that my maturity level is such that over the course of the year I don't get some enjoyment out of it. If you watch the show, you know I kind of do. So Justin, this is with much love, but we got to show some of your highlights. So let's roll clip number one.
Instagram just needs like a fucking YouTube called InstaTube or something, where we get on there and fucking build it. It's just as simple as that.
But it's Facebook.
Like the 25 and unders, they can all kiss my ass. Everyone.
All right, you know what? I'm going to with this. All right, Dave, just say yes or no. What do you think? I'm not going to give context to that question. Yes or no?
Yes.
I'd say no.
I gave it to Dave. He's spoken.
He has spoken.
So it's getting a little bit crowded. All right, so here's the deal. I'm gonna open this up. I'm gonna have a little fun with this, as I often do. So Justin's there. Which to the shock of no one. So here's the deal. Justin, look, is there something that you actually want to contribute? Because I see you with the beer, and I have my beer, and you already saw something. Have some fun with this. Is there something you actually want to contribute? Nod your head. You're not nodding. It's not a nod. If you want me to bring you on, you actually have to nod your head. That's how this works. Okay, so here's the deal. Everyone's forewarned. I have zero compunction about just pushing a button. You know this. All right, let's do it. Let's have some fun. Here we go. I have zero compunction. Don't reverberate to me. I already heard myself the first time. Let's have some fun. Mute me. I have zero compunction. Don't reverberate to me. Goddamn, son. Jesus.
So he's basically saying, yeah, the market can do whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm rich.
True. He is. Doesn't matter to him.
That was going to happen now, don't you?
I love my modern Scion.
Say yes or no?
No.
Yes.
I missed it.
This is going to be a new stick on the show. This is going to be fun. Brian, literally, you were here last time.
I was totally looking at my phone.
I don't know why the streaming gods are so kind to me. I don't know why they're so kind. Well, humor me for one moment, gentlemen. Humor me for one moment.
Your conference call got pushed?
No. They're kind to me. You'll see why in a second. Humor me for a second, if you could. Hey, Justin, how's it going?
No.
Why would you do this to yourself? I'm literally going to go offline. I'm literally going to turn this thing off. I was like, that's why I said, it's like, why are the streaming gods so You gave me everything I could have asked for.
And on that note,
Historical.
Thank you all for hanging out. I'm serious. I am going to shut down the broadcast. I do have an early start on Monday.
Classic Justin. But you would think, like, that was in the earlier part of the year. Carlos has matured over the course of the year and become much more refined as a host of the stream. So certainly, towards the tail end of the year, it wouldn't be anything similar to that.
And he interviewed Brian Gray as part of that discussion. And he was basically frothing at the mouth. Is the best way I could do it. He was super fanboying on this Pro Set acquisition. I'm sitting there like, okay, football, I acknowledge, football, they had a run with football. This is a Pro Set card. This is a hockey Pro Set card. It is cheap, flimsy garbage. It's trash. Trash. Like, it was trash then. It's trash now. It is trash forever. I just don't know if I saw they didn't have anything on there. And I'm saying, like, you want to limit me to 60 minutes? You had your damn mind. It's like, here's your surprise, hour 2. That's your surprise. It's like, you think you can tame me to 1 hour? How dare you? You can have Carlos and then Carlos.
Till the AM.
Yeah. Here's what I'll do. Hour 1, it'll be like this. Hour 2, it'll be like this. There you go. Now it's completely different. Totally different. That's hour 2. Here's hour 3. Here's hour 4. And back to hour 5, recapping hours 1 through 4. That's what we're going to have. That's Hobbypalooza. That's Hobbypalooza.
There we go.
What? The rest of you want? Too bad for you. Is this live? Absolutely not. Totally pre-taped. Okay. What did you learn about the hobby in 2021? Did you learn anything about the
I was
hobby?
going to say 15 if that's the other question. But you run out of fight. You can only fight for the.
Brad, what did you learn about the hobby in 2021? I'll bring it back, Justin, but I don't care about your girlfriend. I really don't. All right, Brad, what have you learned about the hobby in 2021? That will also be the highlight reel. It is not. Now I gotta add the goddamn thing in. Oh, jeez, this kid. He wants so much damn airtime on the highlight show. Good lord, Brad, what have you learned about the hobby?
I was like, where did he go? He's gone.
Don't worry, you'll get used to it during the special Justin segment. He gets his own segment. Please continue. All right, Justin, one more chance. The question was actually one thing you learned about the hobby in 2021.
Okay. Well, actually, the one thing I learned about the hobby, to be honest with you, is, and I just said it about an hour ago or less, is that the PSA is like the Federal Reserve. They're like the monetary fund in this underlying business.
All right, everyone. He said a profound thing, and then double down on a profound thing. Hold on, we got one.
All right, get that one in.
It's true.
But no, I think the analogy is reasonable. That's why, as much as I like to mock, and I do, I think that's a reasonable value. Someone write it down. I need people. Eric.
The second they raised their prices, I started going for 95, 96 Gretzky PSA 9.
All right, don't care. I'm moving on. he was doing so well. He did so well. He said the thing. It was good. I liked it. I co-signed. I asked Eric to write it down. Like, we were good.
Don't feel good. You want to keep pushing it.
Yeah, like, don't push the envelope on that one.
Nope, still an asshole. Yeah. You can also, by the way, bet that I'm going to continue to be a bit of a jackass going forward into the future. It's the kind of thing that I do. That said, I do enjoy it and I have fun with it. But thank you to Justin and, again, all the other contributors and folks that popped in during the course of the year. We couldn't have done it without you. You've all contributed in your own way, various ways and unique ways. So that's it. That'll do it. That was kind of the recap. That was part 3 of 3 as far as the year-end review is concerned. Overall, like I said, I'm very happy with the way that the year went. This was a very prolific year as far as uploading videos. By the time you see this, I can tell you that we comfortably surpassed 180 videos on the channel. I don't know what the exact total is going to be, but we passed 180 even before, and that doesn't count videos that have yet to drop by the time I'm recording this, and this will be even after that. So it'll be comfortably over 180, but I think the most startling statistic that I can offer you, kind of by the numbers, is that if you took the cumulative runtime, and I created a little run list to try to see, because I was genuinely curious, with the live streams, and the videos, and the impromptus, and the little news pieces, and all that stuff. If you add it all up, and hit it on a big old playlist, what you would discover is that the entire runtime of this channel runs comfortably over 12 days. So you could have a 2-week vacation and basically you could run it for the majority of it and only at the very end start even going over again. At 2 times speed, it would almost take a week to watch all of it. So that tells you that we definitely covered a lot of ground and covered a lot of minutes on this live stream as well as the videos and everything else. So it's been a very fun and successful year. I wouldn't have put that much time into it if I didn't enjoy it, and I still enjoy it. So as far as the future is concerned, what I'll tell you is this: like I mentioned earlier, my intention is to continue the live streams because I enjoy them. The regular videos will still continue to come out. I do still want to talk about news and do analysis and those things, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I hope to continue to do more collaborations and have folks on to chat about different things as well. As I go along, hopefully, we'll be able to kind of plan some more of that out and be able to figure it out in the new year. So that'll be part of kind of the commitment and goal too. But here's the last piece that I'll leave you with. And this is kind of the underlying thing. I can pretty much guarantee you two things. One is I will continue to take this channel, this YouTube, and the hobby as seriously as I have, and those clips that you've already seen have clearly indicated I will continue to take it that seriously. Number two, I can pretty much assure you that this channel will, until our fanatics overlords give me the big bag of money, until then, and I sell out so hard, and I will, but until that very moment, I can pretty much guarantee you that a lot of the stuff on this channel is going to remain with a collector's land. I like to talk about the business of the hobby because I think it's relevant, I think it's pertinent, and to be honest, it's more interesting to talk about most of the time. But you're still going to get videos on here that are going to deal with collector-centric issues. And I'm still going to share videos where I've got pieces in the collection showcases, and all that good stuff. If there's something you would like to see from me or something you'd like me to talk about, you can certainly leave a comment in any of the videos, and I'll do my best as I get that feedback to try to incorporate it in the channel. That's kind of the way this goes. It's kind of a two-way conversation. I'll do most of the talking in the two-way conversation, to be fair. But it is still a two-way conversation. I'm open to any thoughts or opinions that folks have. If you present them in a way that allows me to kind of see what you're thinking, there's always a possibility that I may be able to accommodate. But it's one of those things where as long as we keep that communication going and the two-way conversation happening, I see no reason we can't keep it going into 2022 and beyond. So, that's it. Thank you to all of you who checked out a video, even for a minute. Those who liked any video at any point, who decided to subscribe to the channel this year or because of any of the collaborations that I talked about in the past. Appreciation to you. And hopefully, we'll see you in the coming year. So that's it for me. We'll catch you in the next one.